Hello, I'm FBX Toycat, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's noticed when you watch a Let's Play or SMP here on YouTube, the person always has enchanted diamond gear, which they got at one point in their world, but they never need to get again because dying becomes pretty much impossible. Well, I'm the exception to this rule clearly, because I died recently, and I didn't just die. No, what? No! No! I died. I died in literally the worst way imaginable because I fell into the Minecraft void. This means not only did I die and lose all of my experience and have to go back and pick up my stuff like it would have happened in the overworld, but also all of my stuff is gone forever in the void of nothingness. So, oopsie. And Elytra with enchantments on is gone. Enchanted diamond armor is gone. Free diamond pickaxes, it's gone. Every single last bit of my experience, it's gone. And now I'm here again with nothing in a world that I've played thousands of hours on. It's been so long since this happened, but I figured it might be fun to show you the recovery process and show you exactly what it looks like to try and get all of that stuff back. And that's what I'm doing in today's video. But first of all, I want to show you one of the cool benefits of dying, because dying is usually shown to be this super negative thing, right? But the cool thing about dying and having literally nothing on you is that the easiest way to heal up, or the easiest way to get your hunger points back, is to simply just kill yourself. It's so much faster than eating steak and waiting and doing all that sort of stuff. You can just die and you get yourself full hunger, full saturation, and full health, and that allows us to start the day. And let's try and get all of that enchanted diamond gear so you can see exactly how hard it is to get that stuff on a Let's Play world or in any world you've been playing for all of these hours. So let's start, I guess, with the first bit of gear, which should probably be the Elytra. Flying around is something that once you're used to, you just can't go back to not doing. I mean, like, we try to fly, we fall off, we take a bunch of damage. It's awful. And now because I took that damage, I have to kill myself again. And you know, this isn't useful. I need an Elytra. So although I'd have a few of these lying around, the way most people have to get Elytras, and indeed the way I had to get my first one, and all of the ones I've gotten since then, we go to the end and we find a fresh end city. Something I also have to do because I lost 2 shulker boxes, by the way. It only gets worse. It only gets worse. But I lost 2 shulker boxes as well as all of the other inventory items. So we have to go ahead and we have to get some more shulker boxes, and we have to get ourselves an Elytra again. It probably helped to have a sword of some form, but you know what? We'll find a sword in the end city. That's the easiest way to get a lot of diamond gear that I'm hoping we get done at the same time, and that's why we're doing the Elytra first. So, there's a few ways to get out the end islands. Most of them involve going through one of these, and fortunately enough, I have, you know, a lot of people rely on flying through them or using ender pearls. I have some water systems set up, so we'll just swim through, and we'll find a new end city that way. And I swear to God, if somehow this spawns in another 5 ender dragons, because yes, that has happened to me before, there are some real issues here, okay? I'll be very upset. Also, oh, it turns out I haven't fixed this one to adjust to the new swimming mechanics. So we just swim up through here, get into this end portal, boom, there we go. Now we've got to find an end city. Fortunately enough, I have these roads which lead me to some previously explored end cities, but that's not all we need today. We need a new one that I haven't explored just yet, which is actually kind of hard to find when you've explored the end as much as I have. Again, the cool thing about having recently just died is you don't really have a lot of stakes in the game, like, oh no, is that Enderman going to kill me? Oh, how tragic it would be. I'd lose my rotten flesh and my 26 netherrack. Oh no, please don't. Mr. Enderman, don't do that to me. You see, I feel pretty good about this. So as you can imagine, I really need to get over this gap. I want to be on the other side of it. And, you know, I don't really have the flying ability, so I'm just using scaffolding and netherrack and praying for it. Although I don't think that will get me far enough. So instead what we can do is we can try something I'd never try with full diamond armor. And instead we eat a chorus fruit and pray we end up on that island up there. Does it work? Apparently not. We're just outside the range, I'd imagine. Maybe if we go, like, slightly to the right, it'll work now. But yeah, my plan is, the cool thing about being unattached is, you know, you can try ridiculous things like this, and sometimes you're like, okay, actually, well, oops. I guess that's twice we died in the void. That's nice. Again, no real concerns. We just lost scaffolding, and we just lost 22 netherrack blocks. It was worth it, in my opinion. Okay, it was clear that I underestimated what I need to bring if I'm going to get myself this Elytra. So this time I've gone iron sword, some iron boots, 2 bits of cooked rabbit in case I need some good food, and some end stone bricks. 3 stacks just in case I need to get across a big gap like that. This will totally get me through this, I reckon. Again, I know I should be taking things seriously, but I love the fact that I'm unconstrained. So right now, let me show you something kind of cool you can do that you really shouldn't do if you don't have the ability just to lose everything, if you didn't find everything in, you know, from pillager raids and random chests, because I want to get over there, but I think an end pearl will only just about get it. So to be extra sure about this one, we sprint off the edge, then we throw it, and just like that, you can see, we land right on top of the end city. Boom. Just taking a big risk that could have gone horribly wrong if I misjudged that distance has allowed me to get up here, although I think I've been in here before, if I'm being honest with you. Even though I got here first, I can still get myself a nice pickaxe and a nice iron helmet with mending on. It's a shame we can't transplant the mending onto a piece of diamond gear, but that's fine. And we can also get a shovel, which we don't need right here, as well as 4 bits of dirt that I left the last time I came here. Damn it, you know, I need an elytra. I don't need 4 bits of dirt and some beetroot seeds. Although that an end city farm could go along pretty nicely now. Okay, I've got another leap of faith to make that, again, would usually make me nervous, but in this case, let's just go for it. Oh, please let me down quickly, quickly. Oh, no, and it didn't. Okay. So I started taking a bit of void damage, but I survived. And again, that's the sort of risk you don't want to be taking when you've got anything on you, and it's kind of liberating that for at least the first few minutes of this video, we can do that. Or rather, the first 34 minutes as it's been so far. It's been a fun 34 minutes. I've got to admit, there's a part of me that wants to just be now like, you know what, we've got all the equipment we need again. I mean, having diamond pickaxes, why do you need it when you've got an iron pickaxe from Breaking Free and Efficiency 5? Who needs a shovel of the diamond variety? I mean, Netherite's coming soon anyway, why bother with all the diamond stuff? But I guess we should keep on going and keep on looking for end cities, which, by the way, can be literally thousands of blocks apart. We might be doing this for thousands of blocks, and I'm not sure if this rotten flesh will carry us that way, but let's hope that it certainly does. But yeah, the end is a real monstrous terrain to traverse on foot. I mean, like this. We're gonna have to mine a lot of blocks just to cross that gap. It's gonna be awful. Okay, there's finally one in front of us. It's a big end city. Also doesn't contain an end ship, though. Man, elytras are, you know, rarer than you think. You might assume, based on watching your favorite Minecraft Let's Play, or SMP server, where they just hop into creative, or do, you know, something crazy like that, but like, wow, it sure is easy to get them. But I mean, here we are, 45 minutes in, and we've just found 2 end cities, which it will be great for the diamond armor, which we also need, because if you want to get enchanted diamond armor, you can enchant it yourself, sure, or you can find free enchanted armor in these end cities that's going to be pretty good. Often will contain mending, and if it doesn't, it's good enough that you just slap mending on there, and it's otherwise good to go. So let's kill, I guess we don't want to kill too many of these shulker guys. Instead, we can actually just use them to get higher up into here, but let's not think about that too much. Let's just run right past them. See, it's such a handy mob to have. I mean, they literally just give the ability to avoid the parkour that the end city comes with. Oh no, the parkour is being done for me. This is such a tragedy. I hate having this levitation effect on me. Okay, there we go. There's our first chest. It's in a room full of shulkers, so we're gonna have to do something about those. Because even just the sheer number of these attacks will eventually start to hurt you eventually. So let's do something of it, I guess. Okay, in we go. Grab the chest. Oh god, there's nothing in there for us. So actually, we'll just get straight back out. We don't need to be in here, so we won't be in here. Good strategy. Another quick reminder that this genuinely can be useful as opposed to harmful. We're going to deliberately get hit by this one, or apparently Shulker's going to be really bad at aiming. There we go. We're going to deliberately let this one hit us, and we're going to use it to get over to here, and then over to there. The really cool thing to me, though, about that death is that my stuff, which, by the way, there wasn't very much that's actually worthwhile in there. Like, I can disenchant it, and that's probably the most valuable things. But all of the stuff that I had, the really, you know, the cooked rabbits that maybe I want someday, honestly, I can go back for them whenever I want. Like, I can go there right now, or I can go there in years. As long as I don't go within a few chunks of there, then the stuff won't simulate on the ground, and therefore it won't despawn, because it takes 5 minutes for your stuff to despawn, but that 5 minutes is measured from when you're within, you know, that being rendered in Minecraft. Which is why instead I'll just do the whole, hey, we conveniently did this earlier thing. Because we actually did. I've been collecting elytras for a while. If you don't know, I have a little armory where I have a few things stocked up. Including this elytra right here with Unbreaking Free already on it, which is real nice. So we have to add mending to this. We have to find a nice little helmet to add mending to, as well as some leggings and some boots. You know what? These are good enchantments. We'll just take these, add some mending, call it a day. Actually, you know what? These with mending would be better than these. So take these things, enchant it with mending, and then we'll have a nice set of gear, right? In the exact same way, here's a sword of Unbreaking and Smite and Knockback. Here's a sword of just Smite and Looting. I feel like this of Mending and Unbreaking maybe would be the perfect combination, or this Sharpness sword which has Knockback, Mending, and Unbreaking already. We can take any combination of these. Again, I want to go with Smite because killing zombies in one hit is a really nice thing. So we take this sword, we throw some Mending on it, and now we've got ourselves most of the repertoire back together. I mean, seriously, look at me. I look exactly the same. It's just my hotbar's empty and there's no experience. And in case you're curious as to how fast you can get those things, once you've been ready in a Minecraft world, it really is quite simple. Because if we want to get the mending books, as well as if we want to get, say, some pickaxes back, as well as if we want to, say, get some shovels back, all we have to do is find a village where we specialize in either blacksmithing or in librarians. If we have a lot of librarians in a village, or even just the one librarian that we've done the trades on over and over again, then we should be able to get mending very easily, or Unbreaking, whatever our particular book you want. And also, now we've got a looting sword on. We don't have fire aspects, so we're gonna have to get this ourselves. But we kill some cows, and what's this? We get a lot of beef real fast, and now we've got amazing food that quickly as well. The truth is about Minecraft is the reason that once you get the really good stuff, that it's easy to keep it, even after a death, is that Minecraft is a game where things are very hard by default, but they get a lot easier as you kind of stack the things up to make them easier. Minecraft is a game almost about making the game easier for yourself in some ways, which is why I think some people enjoy watching those from scratch Let's Plays, but also why so many people find them hard to do or unwilling to do them, because it's like doing everything that you already do in Minecraft, just with another layer of difficulty added, which isn't everyone's favorite thing in the universe. Maybe I'm the only one though. Because I mean, even gunpowder and, to make the fireworks so I can actually fly my elytra around, really easy to come by. I have huge stacks of it, I have some paper lying around, and now I have the ability to literally fly around my Minecraft world, including flying to the very first village that we need to get to, because hey, we have a village locked in some walls. We've been using it to make jokes about fascist villages for a while, and we've actually been using it as a way to get pretty much any enchanted gear you want, on some level at least, because hey, if you get a, oh geez, make sure, I've had enough bedrock bug deaths in the last while, want to make sure I avoid another one, but like hey, yeah, it's really easy to get certain things in Minecraft because the pathways to get there are made slowly easier and easier, or at least more plentiful over time. It takes a lot of time to get to the stage where all you need is a few emeralds, which again, I mean, I have an ender chest here filled with emeralds. It takes a while to get to the point where all you need is some emeralds at a particular place in your Minecraft world, and you can exchange that directly in for, an enchanted diamond pickaxe. Efficiency 2, no thank you. More like efficiency 3, also kind of good, but I think we can do better. How about efficiency 2, Unbreaking 2? There we go. Just like efficiency 2, Unbreaking 3, I should say. Boom, we've got ourselves a new pickaxe. We can do this a few times, so we can specialize, one for Silk Touch, one for get it up to the efficiency 3, 4, etc. But we can also do this exact same thing with, say, this guy over here. Like, hey, I would like a shovel, a better shovel than that, honestly. I would like a shovel with Unbreaking on. Oh, actually, it was the first one. Look, Silk Touch 1, Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 3. It's 5 emeralds, and now we've got enchanted diamond gear this way too. Just in case you don't want to go to the end cities, because maybe when you get there, you make a miscalculation and you forget to eat your chorus fruit in time. It's a big mistake that doesn't have many consequences if you have no food, but if you have a lot of stuff, or if you have no stuff, but if you have a lot of stuff, you can just trade for it instead. It's safe. You stand here in a room all day, and you wait for trades to refresh, and when they do, you get magic things from them. I mean, if we want them, we could even get super dumb enchanted axes. Do we want them? No. Are we going to have them anyway? Heck yeah, because it's fun. And we also get some of the experience back, so it helps with two things at the same time there. And just a couple of thousand blocks away in an entirely different village, I'll admit it's kind of an inefficient setup as far as if you can lay up your villages in some way. But whatever, in an entirely different village, we have a guy. He's just over here, and we can trade with him 1 book and 34 emeralds, which is a lot, in exchange for mending. Wow, how nice. So now, we have 30, what do we have, like 67? Just under what we need. We have an end chest over here somewhere too, I pray. If we don't have an end chest, then that was a really big oversight. But yeah, basically we can do the exact same thing here, and get some mending books, which we're going to need, because we're going to be enchanting some gear. Even in the very worst case, though, I have enough paper here where I can trade, hopefully, to get the emeralds that I need for that. I can also, if I want to, there's villagers around here that'll sell things like Fire Aspect, which would be convenient for my sword, which I intend to be the new equivalent. So we'll get Fire Aspect on there, we won't get Lore, And yeah, we'll just get this by trading all of this paper bit by bit with all of the villagers. Because hey, I have an insane sugarcane farm, which took me forever to build, but now gives me pretty much the license to print emeralds, as long as I have a librarian nearby me. Yeah, we'll pick up this Fire Aspect book, and we'll stay around a little bit. We'll trade our paper money in exchange for hard emerald money. This is a really dumb village, by the way. Again, there's everything in this world has like a really dumb story attached to it. Like, even though this was just me combining 2 villages together, I destroyed 2 villages, combined them together to make it a thing. It's a whole video. I destroy Minecraft structures. Don't ask why. But like, even as a result of doing pretty silly projects, which is what the last 8 years and thousands of hours of gameplay have been, there are still so many things that are so much easier to do here than the hours it would take back when I first, did them. Like, you used to have to mine for 3 diamonds, add them to 2 sticks. Then you'd have to get 30 levels, enchant your gear, hope it was the right enchantments, and then be kind of good. Nowadays, there's a lot of, other tech path trees you can take, which include, again, waiting for villagers to restock, turning into emeralds, and then turning those emeralds into books, which sounds like a bad thing on the surface. Like, a lot of people, this debate has come up again because you can get netherite loot in the nether in 1.16 just for finding a piglin bastion. But I feel like the actual answer to this is like, again, I feel like power creep is kind of dangerous, but I feel like you can only power creep your existing things so much. Eventually you have to add new things, and you have to make sure you don't add too many ways to get those as well. I feel like having so many ways to get diamond tools actually makes sense after we have netherite tools in the game, because hey, yeah, actually, diamond tools, you can find as many of them as you like, but if you want to perfectly customize them, you still have to do some crazy stuff with enchantment. If you want to have perfectly customized tools, you have to do that. And then if you want netherite tools anyway, you're still gonna have to mine later. So yeah, the question of, this is one that applies to Minecraft, but also to real life on some extent, is one of allowing progression within the game, allowing you to do new things, cool things, the sorts of things that you want to do, allowing new opportunities for you all the time. And that's, again, it's important. If Minecraft was the same game, you can still play it. It still would be fun. But when there's new ways to do things, it's actually worth looking around and exploring them and giving them a try, because they can be more efficient than the previous ways. But the cool thing about Minecraft that they emulate, that like real life is kind of true in real life. And the thing that makes it different to every other big, massive game that is basically trying to wring gameplay hours from you, Minecraft doesn't necessarily care how long you play. You can play for as long as you like, kind of like the real life equivalent, where we're always looking for more efficient ways to do things. In Minecraft, yeah, we're always looking for more efficient ways to do the same things, but to get those more efficient ways, you have to put the work effort in. You won't just find a villager that's going to be instantly, willing to sell you mending books, which is arguably Minecraft's best enchantment, you could argue, right? You won't instantly find, the right type of villager. You have to customize it. You have to go through certain levels of effort to get there. And that is actually a pretty cool feature, because it replicates that thing we want in real life. Like, we want to do things better, and as again, in real life, you have to work for them, and then it feels good. We have that kind of just wired into our brain. When you work for something cool and new in Minecraft, it feels great when you actually have the end result of like, oh yeah, I can get protection-free books so much easier now. Do you want protection-free? I mean, I'd argue for 41 emeralds, no. But in general, yes. And yeah, it's a great example of so make emeralds easier to get, because 41 emeralds at some point in your progression becomes near worthless, and protection-free on tap can be great. Or just find more villagers who will eventually sell you books like Frostwalker. Really cool enchantment, I think. Same with Infinity, actually. I really should buy this Infinity book, actually. And now we have ourselves 5 enchanted books, 4 mendings, 1 flame or fire aspect 2, and we've got ourselves a pretty solid repertoire of stuff that was really, really easy to get. All of this, since the End City moment, took me less time than finding just 1 Elytra unenchanted, and the iron pickaxes, admittedly, and the other dumb stuff. But yeah, the fact that all of this is so easily gotten, the fact that I have so many excess resources that even dying is kind of great, is wonderful. And I'm telling this in not just as a relation to oh yeah, hey, fun fact, this is how Minecraft works too. It's always evolving the tech tree, kind of. If you think about Minecraft as having lots of different ways to get things done, it used to be all about mining, and then we went from mining to being able to also, kind of farm ingredients. Instead of having to mine for iron and gold, you could farm those things. And then as well as, being able to farm for iron and gold via mobs, they added the ability to, hey, you can farm for diamond tools with the end cities, and actually go out and find the loot in nether fortresses and end cities and stuff. And then they added another step by being you know what, you can farm just directly from villagers. And although and even you can find diamond stuff in like underwater structures in the aquatic update, of course. Like you can kind of see every update, they've kind of understood now what they're actually doing, rather than doing it unintentionally, or maybe it was intentional the whole time. They are just very intentionally saying, hey, every update will add cool new ways to do things more efficiently, so you can move the blocks around in your Minecraft world in fun new ways, but more importantly, so you can have fun new ways to spend your time that isn't just focused on the blocks. Because if you think about it this way, if it takes you 2 hours to mine enough netherrack to make a big netherrack cube, let's say, instead, you could spend one of those hours getting a far more efficient pickaxe, which, I mean, we're going to do by combining some together. Like, you know, you could spend an hour getting more efficient pickaxe, you could spend some time getting shulker boxes, so you don't have to keep going back and forth with chests, and then you could spend the other hour mining the blocks, and it would take you the same amount of time, but you would have more fun because you spent half the time doing things that made you more efficient in the end, right? That's how I see it, at least. Maybe you disagree with that prognosis, but the fact is that you have the choice of doing so, and that's what a lot of people like, you know, varied gameplay, doing the same thing for hours at a time is something only I enjoy, although, again, the fact that I died because I was mining the end for 90 minutes in a row, I was using a capture card, so I wasn't, like, looking as clearly. I couldn't activate my Elytra in time. I died, and, you know, I paid the consequences of that. I enjoy mining for a long time as kind of like a podcast activity while we talk and stuff, but not many people would be like, yeah, actually, I'd like to, you know, chop down sugarcane by hand for 10 hours. Some people prefer to, you know, like, or wait for it to grow, chopping it down. Some people use automated redstone farms. Some people use, so there's so many different mechanisms you can use, and that's actually kind of cool. It's something I've more appreciated about Minecraft, and that's why I've kind of changed my stance about farms more recently. Like, admittedly, it was kind of reactionary, like, hey, people keep saying that other YouTubers do farms and therefore I am obliged to do so. And as you all know, like, Minecraft's the game where no one can tell you what you can and cannot do. You want to tell me to make some farms? Not going to do it, friends. But, you know, I feel like anyone who tries to tell you how to play Minecraft is doing it wrong. But Minecraft, and that's what Minecraft doesn't do. It's like, here are some more options. Use them or don't. We don't hugely care. The options are just kind of out there and available. And the reason I tie this into Minecraft is obvious, but I also want to tie this into real life because once you have enough abundance of resources, you can have spares of everything that you need so that when something tragic happens, when you fall off the end and die in Minecraft for the first time in 2020, when something tragic, once in a year, an event you never foresaw coming, you know, happens, you can be ready for it. I mean, it seems dumb to say, but you can be ready for events that you don't see coming. And again, as weird as that is to say, it is totally true, right? You can be 100% ready for... Also, this Elytra is too expensive to repair, apparently. How's that even possible? What did I do to it? I guess we're going to get another Elytra, because that is a thing we have, by the way. And we're going to use this one instead. Wow, look at that. Now we've got a different Elytra. This one, I would be shocked if this doesn't let me repair it. That'd be a bug, right? Okay, it costs 2. Boom. We take our boots that were real nice. We add mending to them. Wow, two levels, and we've got it on there. We add the leggings, which probably need another enchantment first, but whatever. Two levels. Do you see how easy all of this is? This helmet that just has mending. I guess we're a step ahead of the curve on that one. But yeah, we can add mending to anything we want at any time. Oh, this sword. That's the last thing I want to have on. So mending costs 2, and fire aspect 2 is going to cost 4. So you always want to do the cheapest one first. I hope I'm right about that, actually. Who knows for sure? Okay, maybe not. But yeah, just like that, the experience we got just for trading the books gave me all I needed to actually now have a full set of mending gear, by the way. Real nice. I really want to have Unbreaking on this as well. We'll have to... You know, honestly, I'm sure I have Unbreaking on one of these books, because, hey, I also, during Times of Abundance, I enchant books, so that I'm ready for this sort of dumb thing, if I really need to be. Do we have one? We got Protection 4. Which I'm going to put on this helmet to go along with this, actually. So even though it's not the same thing I was talking about, boom, now we've got a four more expensive thing, but we've got a helmet that repairs itself. We've got everything that repairs itself, in fact. My armor never needs to be, you know, repaired again, as long as I, you know, do stuff on a somewhat regular basis. I've got a sword that cooks food for me, that kills monsters, that gives me looting, so I get 3 times as much loot. It's actually up to 4 times as much loot, but on average, like 2.5 times. But way more loot. We can now get food instantly. All of this stuff is instant. And also, because we traded for some extra axes that I really don't want in these particular things, we can get more experience very, very easily, very quickly. You see how we take these and now we've got 5 levels. Now we can do some more enchanting. It's cool like that. That's what I love about Minecraft. There's a lot going on with this game. And by the cool thing about playing it is like you can be ready for anything that happens if you play for long enough. You can be ready for the worst, things, and that's something I guess that ties into real life. Like as a lesson to learn from right now, we're all inside a bunch more, right? Like this, that's a thing that I don't think I should be too unique in saying. Like, hey, did you know people are inside right now? I don't know why. I hear there's something going around the world. It's not really specific. Doesn't really matter too much. But people are inside a whole bunch more right now, and one of the things you can kind of, take from the insidedness is that the world is going through some terrible stuff, right? And one of the reasons the world is going through some terrible stuff is because most leaders, most people, most businesses didn't plan for this. They were just like, oh yeah, things will always be good. I can't imagine a scenario where people aren't going out to restaurants every day. Who can imagine that? Except, oh yeah, it's legitimately legally required that you don't right now. Which sucks on the level of like, oh yeah, I didn't imagine a world where the government would tell me, people can't legally come to my business. But as a business owner, you should be ready for that stuff. As a government, you know how everyone's just like, oh, we just assumed that everything would eternally work the same way that it does right now. Wow, why does it not eternally work the same way it is right now? These are the lessons we can learn from this is like, hey, I have enough stuff so that even when I died and lost everything, which is tragic and it breaks my heart, I'm pretty ready for the next time. And I'm going to spend some time getting another set of gear ready, because I might die again in some lava, in some stuff like that. And actually in lava, as of the Nether update, you can have Netherite gear. It'll survive that. But it's always worth having spare backup stuff, and that is why. Because now we're back here in the end, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to fly back and we're going to collect that. We actually didn't pick up the dirt. We're going to get that iron pickaxe. We're going to get those chorus fruits. I think we had other things that were probably worthwhile too. We're going to get all of it, and it's going to be so much faster. Look how long it took me to make these bridges in survival. Again, 45 minutes roughly. And how long is it taking me right now to just fly over because I had an elytra spare? It's much faster, right? Being prepared for things that, but I guess this is, like a life philosophy or something. But it's a pretty simple one, right? That you should always hope for the best. Hoping for good things is always a good idea. But be prepared for the worst, because the worst sometimes happens. Even if you think you're never going to die again, and a lot of people think that all the time, sometimes you do. But yeah, and also just prove the earlier point that, like, it's never too late. The cool thing about Minecraft, at least on the Bedrock Edition, is that it doesn't treat your stuff as having existed. It doesn't treat it as being, like, despawning, because it doesn't, like, exist until you're near it. Which means, hey, this iron shovel I got with fortune free, because you know what I need on my shovel? Fortune. We can pick it back up. These 2 bits of cooked rabbit, guess what? They're mine again, and we can fly back up. We can see if anything else is around here that we want. But because we have this looting sword, also, the last thing that we needed today, we'll have to wait for that to kill them. But the last thing we needed today, the shulker shells, we can get those as well. All of our stuff can be gone back. I think we had rotten flesh, right? Yeah, there's a whole stack of rotten flesh around somewhere. I mean, I really value rotten flesh. What can I say? We can go back and we can get it. Oh, there it is. Found it. So we'll just let this shulker hurt me some, shall we? I mean, the way it could do that best is by telling me that everything's going to be okay and that people aren't having a wild controversy of my most recent video. Actually, can I talk about, since we're talking about, like, hey, do you know, be prepared for things so that way when they happen you're not shocked, etc. Something that I wasn't prepared for, that maybe I should have been, was I recently did a giveaway, not really a giveaway, it was like a build competition. I was like, hey, I'm going to do something fun, like a quick one-off, and just to make it a bit more fun, I'll give $100 to someone who wins, right? Like, it's going to be, Toycat does stupid realms rules, but it'll be a building competition, and a lot of people are like, yeah, what a cool idea that is. And then everyone's like, but you know what? I would have picked a different winner. Again, I did stupid Toycat rules, because that's what I do. Anyone who's watched any of my videos knows that's exactly what we do. But in spite of that, there's this huge controversy movement, because a lot of people are like very angry about the idea that like, but I would have picked a different winner. But it's like, the cool thing is that you didn't pick one, because that's not how this works in the slightest. Anyway, so yeah, we got ourselves 3 shulker shells now. If we get a 4th shulker shell, we'll not only have what we had before, but we'll also have more. Actually, wait, if we have more than 4, we'll have what we can get way more than we had before, because there's all of these new access things, which is great. And also, we can fly around and we can find a brand new like end city that actually has an end ship, so we can get more elytras and stuff. All these things are possible, and if we're really lucky on top of all of that, okay, look at this. We've now officially got 8 shulker shells. We can make 4 shulker boxes, replace the 2 that we lost, plus we got 2 from that village earlier, but like, and then make 2 brand new ones. And yeah, this is how we get new things sorted. Life is unpredictable, is what I'm trying to say right here. Life is full of curveballs, because everything works about the same most of the time, but knowing that most of the time isn't all of the time is an important thing to know. One of the things that I've heard recently that really stuck with me, it was related to the whole current pandemic issue, but like, it's just it's a fact about how people deal with probabilities and numbers. The human brain is only really cut out for 3 probabilities: 0%, 100%, and 50%. If something's, you know, like, as far, like, I guess, because we're not really built to be maths people. Maths is a language almost we built to describe a lot of things in this world. But as a result of that, like, we have a really hard time understanding, you know, any probability that isn't just this will guaranteed happen, this will never happen, or this might happen. Again, 0%, 100%, 50%. A lot of things, you know, like, an easy way to describe this is like, you know how current pandemic went from, oh yeah, this is nothing at all, literally 0, no concern in the slightest, to, oh my god, this is the hugest deal ever, you know, there is a real chance that everyone can get this, everyone's going on their most serious minds now, and the reason for that is, also, we'll take this, it might be important. We'll also take the gold, you never know. But the reason for that is because suddenly it's switched from into people's brains from this is a 0% chance issue to us to this is a 50% chance issue to us. You know, with any, like, disease, you can never go above that, really, I wouldn't say. Like, there are some people, some germaphobes overreacting who are like, this is 100% unless I do everything in my control. And, you know, like, you know, some people take everything a bit too far. You can't really fault that when it's for personal health reasons, right? But we have a really hard time of dealing with percentages, and we have a hard time accepting that, like, yeah, if the world works most of the time the same way, that's still, you know, like, even if it works 99.9% of the time, everything is fine exactly the same way it always is. That still means once every 3 years, or one day every 3 years, that 0.1% does happen, and you've got to be ready for it, because you don't know when it's going to happen, and you'll assume that it won't. Because there's almost a fun thing where, like, risks that we know about, risks that we prepare for, they're more scary to us, but because we think about them all the time, they're less of an actual concern. Like, I'd say, like, one of the things I've, like, appreciated more and more since I've been, because e-scooters are now legal in the UK. I was riding one before they were legal, but, like, let's pretend that wasn't the case. But, like, you know, like, I ride one around, I'm on the roads a bunch. I've had to learn about, like, road signs and stuff because I'm on the road with it a bunch. It's kind of, it seems wildly dangerous, and on some level it really is. But, like, like, the way cars just go past each other all the time, like, literally, like, centimeters away from killing a bunch of people, right? Damn it, like... You forget how much you hate shoulders until you get hit by too many of them in a row. But, like, cars go, like, centimeters, well, inches if you live in Freedom Country. They go within inches of, like, hurting each other, like, hurting lots of people, killing a family, etc., all the time, but they don't because people are kind of aware of that risk. The time where the risk is actually highest is where you assume you're a good driver who would never get in a crash, and then, therefore, you stop paying attention and you start... listening to Toy Cat videos instead. There we go, I'm pulling you out. But no, you know, like, as soon as you stop thinking about the risk gets way bigger. Once you have the risk in your mind and you're calculating based on it, it's still there. It still might happen all the same, but your response to it is going to be far better. And that's why, you know, when you look at the current situation, there are different responses of different calibers all around the world. Look at this, by the way. Fortune, Unbreaking, Efficiency, and Mending. Move away, Silk Touch Shovel. I got a new one in town now. And yeah, we can do this, like, endlessly to get new stuff we want to. So even if you don't want to trade, even if you don't have reserves of these things already, there are just so many ways you can get some things, if you know how. If you... Honestly, my first reaction to dying, because I wasn't, like, fully prepared for it, was just, like... I don't want to call it sadness, but, like, despair. I was just like, oh god, I'm dead. You know, that's just a thing that I have to deal with. And, it's a tragic thing, but I hope this is, like, the reminder of, like, you know, even the very worst things, there is a way through. There's always a way. There's always a way through. Is my vague message here, I guess. You've just got to be, like, you've got to know what that way is. You've got to have, like, a plan for what it's going to be. Because the sooner you start dealing with an issue, and, because, again, the despair behind just thinking about something is this real emotional burden, right? Like, just dealing with the fact that something has happened is a real thing that takes up time. Like, your brain spends a lot of time just thinking about how bad it is. But thinking about how bad something is and doing something to make it less bad I like that. They're different actions with different outcomes. And it's impossible to just say, like, hey. It's kind of like, you know, you always see people who are like, something terrible's happened and they just kind of sit there and like, it's like, hey, do something to make, you know, like you want to be like, hey, just do the thing. What you're doing right now isn't useful. That's not actually going to help anyone. But it is still a lesson that you need to, at some point, learn, I guess is what I'm saying here. And, yeah, I've learned the Minecraft version. Instead of just, like, being like, oh god, this is the worst thing. I'm never going to recover. Instead, just be like, okay, step 1, villagers, get the mending books. Step 2, apply those books to certain things. And step 3 is really, like, be prepared for the next time. Be better prepared. Oh god, I can't get. Be better prepared for the next time this happens, you know? Not just the, you know, some amount of prepared. Be even more. Do we need that horse armor? I'm gonna wager we don't now. And that's what I'm gonna try better to do, I guess. Is to be prepared for deaths, but also I always want to be prepared for more things that are in the world. And I'm gonna leave you with the important thought that, like, yeah, the honest thing that, like, I would say separates, like, because it always seems that when you look at the world that there are some people who do insane things that you could never do, and on some level that is true. Like, yeah, they are much better prepared for situations. But one of the biggest things is just like the reason that people do things that seem extraordinary. You know, not that I think I can do anything hugely extraordinary, but the things that allows them to do those things is just being aware and being prepared. That's why so much of like life really, but like also the training for any job is like just being, you know, training and learning about the things that might face you and having like a plan for what happens when they do. Because that is actually like a surprisingly important part of just like, oh yeah, this is like the thing I know about already. I will do the thing that I know is the response to that. Because coming up with it on the fly, like the solutions, I don't know. There's a lot of dumb things. Like I watched this video recently about like what happens when someone gets trapped under a train in London. And it's like, oh yeah, what we do is we get a wench, or I don't know, actually, it's actually cool. The jack, I think it is, and they jack up the train so that way they can get the person out from under it. And it's a really simple solution. It's like, oh yeah, and then the person doesn't get crushed any more than they need to. I would have just backed the train up or forward or something like that. But like as soon as you know that, it's smart, and you're like, oh yeah, you lift up the train. That's a smart solution to when a train's on someone, remove the thing that's on the person. But yeah, so like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that you can learn from that way. And I guess this is what I'm just saying right now is like, be prepared for the worst things that's going to happen. A lot of people think like, oh, this is the defining 3 months of their life. Like, we'll know this time by a lot of things. Like, some YouTubers will know this time as like the times they got the most views of their life, I think. Someone said recently, and I was like, actually, that is an interesting way to see it also. But another way to think about it is like, oh yeah, people think this is the worst moment that will ever happen in their lives ever. And even though this is a terrible thing to say, like, if you're having a bad time right now, the truth is, worse times are coming. I don't know when. I have no clue when or how to predict them. And my message of, like, niceness shouldn't be, oh yeah, you think it's bad now, it can get worse. Because suffering is relative. Relatively speaking, this might be the worst time of suffering. But there will be worse times, and just learning what you can from this crisis of whatever form you want to call it, and being able to apply it to the next one you live through, is something that I feel like will take you a long way. It's so annoying because as soon as we get hit once, we get hit like over and over again, repeatedly it seems. But we've mostly killed them, and all we took was like 10 dinks for armor. And that's kind of, damn it, there's just so many of these things. But yeah, I'm gonna finish off this place. I've got 17 shulker boxes now. Again, we have over-recovered, and all it took us was a couple of hours, which is great when you really think about it, that in less than 2 hours, you can fully recover from a death. I'd say some of the end stone I got, I mean, that would only take like another 20 minutes to get, etc. There's like stuff like a flint and steel they had on me when I died. Those things will technically be hard to get. But mostly, we can recover from death in 2 hours. And I was actually surprised at that. I thought this would be like a multiple hour ordeal. Because it sounds scary. Dying in Minecraft is something you don't have a plan for. But that's okay. You don't need to have a plan for everything. You should just have a vague idea that something will go wrong. And have, you know, again, like, some amount of preparation for that. Whatever type of preparation that means. Whatever type of life it means. And I hope this is like the encouragement. They're like, yeah, actually, you might think everyone is so much smarter or better than you in the world. But usually they're not. Usually they just... Either they overestimate their own intelligence, so they make... you know, so they assume they're so great, and that actually kind of helps them, because you know, how competence is important for a lot of tasks. But in some cases, it literally is just like, oh yeah, nah, people, they're not like so much smarter or better in whatever way they are. It's just they know how to do their thing. The 5 things they need to do in a panic, they can do real fast, and you know what? You or I can't. And I know, maybe it's useful, maybe it's not. Maybe you find this all dumb. All I know is I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm going to float off into the Aether now, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.